Chat, my buttons weren't working. They're working now. I don't know why it wasn't working, but hello, 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 hello. Oh, yes, you can hear me now. Hi, 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 hi. Woof, 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 woof. Hello, 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 hello. I'm excited, Chat. Are you excited? Are you excited? Is it the music? Is it the music that makes you excited? Is that what's happening right now? You don't like the music or just me? Because I like me too. Hello. Chat, I got a song for you. We're gonna do this real quick. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, you ready? Here. I don't like you. I'm now going to bark at you. Woof woof bark bark. Woof 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 bark bark. Woof 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 bark bark bark. Woof woof bark bark. Woof 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 bark bark. Woof 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 bark bark bark. Woof. Oh, well, you know, it was fun while it lasted. Hi, Kitten Paws. Kitten Paws wrote low for me in the past. They're a very good writer. If you ever need them to write anything, please, 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 please hit them up. Sweet and Genuine Pays. Paws, Kitten Paws. You're a fantastic, fantastic writer. You're a lovely, lovely person. I really, 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 really do appreciate you so very much. I think you're amazing. I think you're fantastic. And I really do appreciate you so very, very much. I'm glad that you found the community again, and I hope you stick around. Mwah. So, chat, today. I'm trying to get rid of my hands. There they are. So, hello. We might be doing some Resident Evil 7 at some point today, but what's more important is I want to show you all some mics. Do y'all want to experience 2 different microphones? I'm going to be singing some stuff. I'm going to sing a single song. I'll sing it to this mic, and I'll sing it on the other mic, and it's super fucking cool. It's amazing. I like it a lot. I want to explain to you. There we go. Okay. Wait, I gotta recalibrate. Chat. Recalibrating. There we go. Okay, so, chat. Right, where were we? I want to explain to you. There's 2 kinds of mics. No, there's a lot more than 2 kinds of mics. But there is at least 2 kinds of mics, okay? Mic number 1, that's used for most streaming, is called a dynamic microphone, or a dynamic condenser microphone, like this. Ba-da-ba-da-ba, now, this mic is great. It's amazing for streaming because, like, I can do this, and you don't really hear me snapping too much behind it. But also, like, it doesn't get a lot of background noises. And also, you can get as loud as you want. You can sing into this mic very aggressively, go like, blah, ba, da, ba, ba, da, ba, bum. And it won't break the microphone, okay? Great mic. Sturdy, strong. Most streamer microphones that use are dynamic microphones, okay? Now, how do I sound right now? Do you like this? No, this is very different. So you can do the, I'm nice to you, I'm nice to you. Why don't you try singing into the mic for me? Okay, here we go. You ready? We're gonna do, sure is okay. I don't like, sure is more on the high end, and I have a deeper voice, so it doesn't really work out for me, like in the range. Okay, so we got the, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. I always need you, Vanya. I always need you. I've been kissing white boys since 2004. Do you want to kiss more white boys in 2025? I lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love. And with your admission that you feel the same, I could be the one you're dreaming of, believe me. Okay. This is a dynamic condenser microphone. Lovely. Now, I'm going to swap over to a large diaphragm mic. Now, what's lovely about a large diaphragm mic is that the way it receives sound is a lot nicer. It uses a large, like, piece of foil connected to stuff. And it's a lot more sensitive and has a... thank you. Hello, Echo Rose. Lovely to see you. So yes, condenser mic, like this. Great mic. Great for a lot of stuff. You can use this to sing it on a stage and it won't be too bad. But a large diaphragm mic is a little bit more sensitive, picks up more of a range of your voice, but if you go too loud, you can break the microphone, which is not going to happen with something like this. Are you ready? You ready to hear the difference? I'm going to have to swap something out here, so 1 second here. Sorry, chat. Now you should hear me. Okay. Hello. Sorry. So this is a large diaphragm microphone, okay? It's a bit different. Has a better range. Like, you can pick up more of the voice. It is more sensitive. So, like, if you're typing on a keyboard or something, that's going to be heard. But compared to the other mic, now we have the I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. Yeah, see? So it's slightly better produced. And now if I can swap off some things here, like 1 second. Now we have removed the low cut, so it goes a little bit lower. And then we can do the low cut again, so you can hear this. And that's the low cut. I don't know if you can tell much of a difference. It's a very slight difference. But it's going to pull off the harshness of the low end. But yeah, comparing the two microphones, which ones do you prefer? This mic or the other mic? Anyways, how are you doing, Echo? Nice feet licking. Exactly. And I personally, I like this microphone a lot. And if I'm doing like if I'm doing some like voice acting, it's gonna like get significantly better quality of my voice. Plus, chat. This mic does not need a lifter, so it's more clean. It has less stuff in between it. God damn it, Lumi. I'm so sorry. Here, you happy? You happy I'm here now for you? But unfortunately, chat, I can't even use this microphone. You want to know why I can't use this microphone, chat? You want to know why I can't use this microphone? Because I don't have the goddamn screw I need. I need a screw to attach it to my my mic stand. And unfortunately, my current one screw that I have, do you want to know where it is? It's in my other microphone. I can't remove it. It's stuck. It will not release, and I hate it so very much. But yeah, I got beaten by a screw, so I had to order a new screw. I ordered a new screw already, but I don't know where I put them, so I had to order a new screw. There's a screw here somewhere. I got a screw loose somewhere around here. But yeah. Anyways, we're going to swap back to the other mic so that I can actually talk, and I have to hold the microphone, because right now I can do this, and I go, woo. But not what I want to really do. Okay. Did y'all enjoy your mic lessons today? Do you feel like you learned something? Yes, no, maybe. You want to make out? Come here. I'm dying. Okay. Kinda, yeah. Me too. I also want to... You don't steal Vanya from me. Stop it. I'm nice to you. Actually, that's the song I want to sing. I want to look up the lyrics for that. 1 second. We're going to look up this. Here we go. Where's the lyrics? God, I need to find this. I love the song so much. I like the song. Anyways, okay, we're going to go back to the normal mic. Hello, all. Someone has great audio. Thank you. I killed a child for this audio. Hello, Anime Gal. What is up, Anime Gal? Do you like anime? Oh, I forgot I'm doing this other voice. I'm so sorry. Chat, start the timer over. God damn it. All right, we're back here. Oh my God, there's my favorite ocean. Ocean, did you know? Ocean. How you doing, Ocean? You know, I really, really enjoy your company, and I love it when you're here. You're one of my favorites. Mwah. Hello, Pommel. Thank you. How you doing? Desi, you're looking great. Gene has favoritism. I do have favoritism. Chat, you're all my favorite. Because if you're here, you're significantly hotter than you've ever been before. All right, chat? The only hot people here are the people in this stream. Remember, if you feel like only a little bit attractive, guess how attractive you are now? You're double attractive. So if you're a 1, you're a 2 now. If you're a 2, you're a 4. If you're a 5, chat, you're a 10. And there's nobody here below a 7, so y'all are 14s. Congratulations, chat. Mom's second surgery soon, and I have a question. What's the question, Ocean? Well, what's the question? I'm ready. I'm listening. Echo, I'm doing amazing. How are you doing, Echo Rose? Yes, chat, you're all very hot now. What if I'm 100, then you're 200, and you're gonna burn us all alive with your goddamn hotness, and we're all gonna die in your flaming fury? What's your question, Ocean? I'm ready to hear. I'm nice to you. I don't believe that I'm pretty. You are now, because you're here. Oh, shit, I broke everything, chat. 1 second. Stop being broken. Oh, no, stop being broken. Please stop it. I don't want you to be broken. Why are you broken now? Do not be broken for me. Be unbroken. Mm-hmm. Do. Everything is broken for me today, chat. This is frustrating. All right, I'm gonna see if I can fix this. But Ocean, ask your question. I'm ready for it. Let me know. Necro Era, my feelings gene's not even mad, just sad. Was it that bad? Are you my dad? Necro, I have no clue what you're talking about. I have no clue what you're talking about, Necro. What did I do? Oh, of course. Ocean, you can take my VODs wherever you want. Take my VODs wherever you want. I'll send you whatever you need. You let me know. I'll do a custom audio for you if you want, all right? But take your VOD. Take the VOD with you. What did I do, Necro? What did I do to you, Necro? I'm waiting. All right, chat. I got to fix it. Give me a second while I try to figure this out. I'm going to put the mic down. Did you draw your model? I did not. I got my model from Booth PM. It's amazing. Why am I tracked sometimes but not others? What is happening here, chat? Am I just not trackable today? Is that what's happening? You know what it is, chat? Oh my God, I figured it out. Chat. It doesn't recognize my face when I hold the microphone in front of it. It's like, there's a microphone. This man's a robot now and we can't track him anymore. Who is this man? I dare you. Pull my hair right now, chat. You can do it. I believe in you. Right now. You and me. But Necro, my feelings, Gene, not even mad. What, Necro, what did I do? What did I do, Necro? Hello, Silva, how you doing? Someone I've had fall asleep to my voice, considering how chaotic I am. I don't understand. I also don't understand, chat. I've been playing, do I want soda or energy drink? Energy drink. I got no mouth, chat. Gene is AI. It's true, chat. This entire time I've been AI. I didn't know how to tell you. I'm gonna be manhandling shit out of my mini, Gene, tomorrow. I mean, I also manhandle the shit out of my mini. And don't make me bald, don't you dare. I need my hair. There's only so much of me that is doable. Anyways, chat, we're going to be swapping back to the other mics so that you can hear me better. You got to believe it's getting better. It's getting better all the time. I got to admit it's getting better. You disappoint, I disappoint. What did I disappoint you? Necro. I don't know what I did, but I'm sure I did it. Give me $20 and I'll stop doing it. Can we give you a prompt, Gene AI? Yeah, sure, give me a prompt. Give me a prompt right now, let me hear it. I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. All right, I gotta swap to the other mic. Give me a second, I'm gonna swap to the other mic. One sec. La da 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 da. Da 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 da. You could have picked for Radiohead. Well, you know, it's the only Radiohead song I know off the top of my head. A kiss, can we wake it up? Okay, come here. Mwah. And maybe that's what I want to. Anyways, we're going to be drinking a protein shake, chat. My dinner today has been a peanut butter tortilla. Peanut butter. I'm not on something. Oh my God. Gene, can you write and execute the blurb? No follow-up questions? Okay. Mm. What would we call if Jay a good boy? I don't believe you. I'm not a good boy. I'm bad. I'm bad to the bone. Okay, so chat. Let's hang out. I'd like to tell you all, like, hey, you know what I've been doing lately? I've been doing all this cool stuff. I've been having fun. I've been doing great things. Chat, do you want to know what I did today? Would you like to know what I did today? Yeah, we're talking one-on-one right now, chat. So what did you all know? Oh. Oh, Moreau wants to know. Okay. Also, for Silver Charge, come here. Da, da, da. Anyways, hi, I'm just pumping in before I go back to sleep. Go back to sleep then. No, oh. Yes? Okay, cool. At least some people want to hear about it. Okay, so today what I did was pretty much nothing. Nothing. I played games with Dar this morning. Then I went to the grocery store and I picked up my groceries. And then I came home. Oh, I did make carrot juice. I made carrot juice, which was really, really good. It had carrots and ginger and honey in it. Delicious, amazing. And but I really did not do much of anything. And I'm kind of disappointed in myself. Like, you know, like I feel like I should be going out and doing things so that I can come back here and we can talk about it. But like, oh, I did take I took a full body shower. That took like a good hour, and I did a hair treatment, and I did some facial stuff. I don't like him anymore. Oh. Okay, I mean, that's fine. It's you don't have to like me, I guess, but like, I tried. Okay. You use mask? What kind? Good. Good. I better be your favorite. I should be. We're better. Okay. Emotions are back. I feel okay now. Anyways, I didn't use a mask. Well, I did a facial mask. I did a hair mask, but it was with like, you know, I have clay. I have this clay thing I use. Wait, dog. Did I miss? What'd you miss? Vanya, you know I love you. But yes, so I did nothing. And it kind of sucks. So chat, did you do something today? Did all of you do stuff today? Like, I hope somebody did something better than I did. Did you all like hang out, go see anything, have fun with anybody? Like anything at all. So what'd you do? What'd you do? Come on, I believe in you, chat. You got this. Somebody. I went to the gym. I pet my cats. I had a mental breakdown. You had a mental breakdown over Belgian trains? Like the concept? Were you just thinking about like trains being like, trains, oh God, trains, they're... or was it like because you're on the Belgian trains? Because that's a different story. They're fucking annoying in general? Or like, we're still missing the prompt here of like what caused the breakdown over the trains? Went to church, got some food, about to move into my university. Oh! Kodo, have fun with the move-in. Good luck with that. I believe in you. Oh, okay. No, I get that. That's 100%. I'm finally getting my model done. Nice! Okay, that's exciting. Silver. That's very exciting. I went fishing with my brothers and I met my nephew today. I kind of want to go fishing. This took a long time. Got to play Male Wife today before I trimming my hair. Echo, if you want to play Male Wife some more, come visit. Clean up for me. I could use someone to clean up my ice. Oh shit, I almost forgot I got stung by a bee. You got stung by a bee? By a bee? What do you mean? I know, and Vanya, I said you can clean for me. Vanya, I've offered. You're making me pay to fly you out here, and I don't have that money yet. Let's see what else happened. He's a dog. I got work and made money to give to you. Yay! Desi, keep making money for me. Mwah. I went to a festival. A fest? Oh, come on. No. Lilith front and center. Lilith front and center. What festival? Tell me about it. Let me hear about it. What festival did you go to? Yeah, exactly. Echo, you're mine now. Come here. My husband and I did yard work all day. Ooh, I mean, yard work can be, you know, emotionally satisfying, you know. Nibri is an EDM one. Ooh, nice. Sounds like a lot of fun. Okay. So, chat, I don't know if I already told you all about this, but I told you I'm meeting with somebody to plan out projects, right? Do you all remember that? Did everybody get that? Also got a new dog. Woof woof. And went to the X store. Nice! Echo, very cool. It was very funny. I like it. Good. I think I haven't been stung by a bee since I was a child. I have not been stung by a bee since I was a child. I don't know what I would do if I got stung by a bee. Cry, probably. Okay, yeah, so I told you all about how I've been meeting, like, I met with a person to kind of, like, plan out some stuff. I've never been stung by a bee. I've never been stung by hornets and wasps. Well, Kodo, I will hunt you down and I'll sting you. I got you. You and me, we got this. So, rebrand is going to be happening. Still the same model, don't you worry, but my nephew bit me. Bite him back. Bite him back immediately. Okay, so met with a person, and the plan is I'm going to be doing a lot more ASMR stuff. I'm going to be splitting up my content a bit. Kitten, do it. Why don't you? And we're soon going to have ASMR specific Twitter, a voice acting and streaming Twitter, and we're going to do the same on YouTube. We're going to have an ASMR YouTube, and we're going to have a clips and funny content and whatever content YouTube, and we're going to do the same thing on TikTok. So, chat, expect to have to follow me at 5 different places, okay? Okay, chat, you ready? And if you want more exclusive content, it's going to be on Patreon. So you're going to have to follow me on 6 places. Are you ready to follow me 6 places, chat? Are you ready? Yes? No? Maybe? Multiple G's? I will be all over the place. You have the personality of a trash goblin. Ooh, trashy. Also, if you'd like to get art with me, don't forget, there is a YCH giveaway happening. And if you win, you get art with me. Get ready for it. This is done for some milestone we'll figure out later. And if we ever get the voice acting demo reel to 100 likes, we're doing drunk karaoke. Okay? Yeah, follow me everywhere. Jeez, give me money. Pay me. Never, 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 ever. But yes, drunken karaoke will happen once we get that voice acting demo reel to 100 likes. It's still not there. We'll put it back on. We got so close, and I was so excited to get there, but you know. Never know, I know. Oh yes, Vanya, it's going to be drunk. It's not going to be good. And yes, the Patreon is going to have some more in-depth long content. No, it never made it to 100. Potentially. I might open it up to people. Hell, maybe I'll let people hop on. Me more than Oh, no. Moxie, your mental health. My stuff's also going to be on YouTube. So you do not have to follow me on both TikTok and YouTube. You can just follow me on YouTube. Valid. Stay away from TikTok. It can really fuck up your brain. Too late, Kitten. Chat, it's going to be me and Kitten, by the way. Kitten's going to be on for 1 song, and then they're going to head off. All right, chat, do we want to listen to 1 bad music song, and then we can continue with stream, and we'll do some Resident Evil 7? Yeah, no, but you have to actually watch Vanya's videos, and it will cleanse it. So we're going to listen to 1 bad song, and then we're going to play Resident Evil 7, okay? You ready? Here we go. I love the song. Actually, no, we'll do this one. I have an idea, chat. I'm a genius, chat. No, Vanya, I don't want your bad music. I don't want your bad music, because your music is legitimately... Did you? What song? What song she dedicated to me? Vanya, the music you send me is like a schizophrenic breakdown, okay? Like going absolutely fucking insane. Like the kind of song that you send me is, "Hi, I'm gonna stab out my brains with a pitchfork," because who made it? Who allowed that to exist? Okay, Vanya, send it to me. Vanya, send it to me. Vanya, send it to me. Send it to me right now. No, I would like to listen to your actual music recommendations, but you said a bad song. You said, here's a bad song. Send me a bad song. Send me a bad song. Are you going to send me a good song, or is it going to be the same bad song? You need to send me Polish songs. Bet. No, come on, Vanya. Vanya, is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? You gonna send me this one? Here. We'll play it here. You should move to Canada. Is this one? All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, no, we're gonna play a song. This is the song that's been requested. And this is from Vanya. Okay, where were we? No. 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 Eagles are ruining my life. Bet. I got this. Shit, how's it going? But how's everybody doing? I hope everybody else is doing great. He didn't even get to pussy Steve. No, Vanya. No, I don't want to get to pussy Steve. You might be surprised, but I enjoy living. And something like that might change. I'm not going to pussy Steve. We're not making it to pussy Steve, chat. We're not going to make it to... What do you mean, yes? No, it's not happening. We're not making it to pussy Steve. Why do you want me to get to pussy Steve? Why do you... If I choose tail, we're choosing tails. Go for tails. Give me tails. What are we getting with tails? $100. I came back. I'm back. Pomo. I'm downloading X just to go like your post. Thank you. Gene, for the love of God, clout. Don't fold to the demands. All right, if I flew a coin and it lands, I'm unmodding myself. Vanya, I'm remodding you. It doesn't matter what you want. I'm keeping you as a mod. You're not allowed to escape. Okay, chat, so the plan today is we're going to play some Resident Evil 7. Requested by popular demand of nobody. What's the bad news, Vanya? What's the bad news, Vanya? Let me hear it. I don't know. Oh no, Vanya. That's awful. That's awful, Vanya. I can't believe you would do this. Anyways. What's up, Vanya? Hey, Vanya, can you say something for me real quick? We should go to Anime New York. Let's go to Anime... Chat. I'm going to do cooking streams, by the way, once we get a 3D model. I think it's going to be really funny. I have plans on how to do it. It's going to be great. But this is going to be... We need to hit 50 viewer average. We're not there yet, chat. We got to get 50 viewer average. And then... Oh my god, Vanya, you're a mod again. What happened? That's crazy. Can you imagine? I'm a good cook. Hey, come here, chat. Come here. No. Hey, stop trying to get away. Stop, come here. Closer, chat. Hey. I said closer. Listen to me. I'm a good fucking cook. I'm a good cook, okay, chat? And I will hold you here until you admit that I'm a good cook. Come here. Say it. Say Gene's a good cook right now. There's a gun in my... We need proof. Okay, fine. Aura and Vanya are allowed to back off. Everybody else, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm gonna cook for Vanya and Aura because they're great and they're kind and they said I'm a good cook, and they're the only ones who get fed. Chat. Aura and Vanya are the only ones who get fed. Everybody else will starve and can watch them eat. Okay. Yes. Wait, what? What'd you type? Has a good cock. Okay, no, Pomo did it as well. Pomo also gets fed. I did miss the Gene has a good cock. I did not say. Oh, fucking. Okay. Okay, chat. Joke's on you. I'm normally starving anyways. Fine, I'll feed everybody. Big meal. We'll make a giant meal, okay, chat? Everybody has to throw in $1 and then I'll cook for everybody, okay? No Big Macs! I'll make my own Big Mac, okay? Honestly, though, if we had like 30 people, everybody threw in $1, I could probably make some good food. Or well, $2. Give me $2 per person. $60 is enough for me to feed 30 people. I can do it. Easy. Hey, yo, thank you for the bits. Thank you, Desi. I really appreciate it. Desi, I will cook for you. You've had it for like 2 days. How are you almost out of chili? We need to tell me, Vanya. I'm ready. I'll rip something right now, Vanya. All right, I have... Oh, fuck. Ah, God, come back. I make good chili. That's fair. Says hi, Bits. Can you rip a shirt for me? Actually, you know what? Yeah. Was that more bits? Okay, wait, no. This gets a new shirt. This gets a new shirt, chat. 1 second. I'm gonna put on a new shirt. Okay. Maybe the combination. The combination deserves a new shirt. Are you ready, chat? Are you ready? You ready? Here, we're gonna lower the microphone. I love you, Keeper. What do you mean? 3, 2, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. There we go. And I now have a jacket instead of a shirt. I did. That's why we did 2 rips. Keeper, I said hi! Anyways, chat. What are we doing? 7 days, not 7 days to die. We're going to play Resident Evil 7. Chat, we're actually going to count down real quick. Listen to me. You ready? Now look at me. Look at me in the eyes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, 7 days to die, right? Hey, for the bits! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. 1. All right, not 7 days to die. Sorry, Resident Evil 7. Another rip. That is not equivalent to rip prices. No, no, no. That's not how it works. And technically, rips are 20, not 15. No, we're playing Resident Evil 7. We're not doing 7 days to die. We're doing Resident Evil 7. I've been wanting a game I can shoot things in. And a scurry. Shipping. There we go. Why are you throwing? What are you throwing? What are you doing? What are you doing, chat? Toes, 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 toes. Fine. There you go. That's what you get. Toast. 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 Yeah, exactly. So that's why I ripped it the one time. You'd have to add another 10, but stop giving me bits right now. I'm going to get an emote like that, Kodo. I'm going to get an emote like that. I'm looking at somebody right now to try to get an emote like that. Hi, Crow. How you doing? You hate toast most times? I'll make you some good toast. Okay. No. No. Refused. 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 I am rather strong, but I need to start working out more. I need to get some, like, huge muscles. I'm just, I'm... Amdis, you lovely. Thank you for the beds. Amdis, you lovely, lovely, lovely person. You know, I really appreciate you, and I love seeing you come by these streams. I get excited seeing you here, and it makes me really, really happy to see you here so often. You're a lovely, beautiful person, and you deserve so much in this world, so much positivity. You're incredible. You're fantastic, and I really, really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for the redeem. Okay. Was it browser? Did the browser not make any move? No. Anyways. Okay. I'm going to make avocado toast once I'm out of chili. You should. Avocado toast is great. Please remember, whoa, dying. Why are you dying? Stop dying. Desi, thank you for the bits. Mwah. Well, Echo, you do you. Why is there a cabbage there? Stop being sick, Crow. Try not to be sick. I believe in you. Thank you for the bits, Vanya. Fine. Give me a second. And there you go. And lastly, are you happy? Is that what you wanted? Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, Desi, you want praise? Come here, Desi. Well, Desi, did you redeem praise? Desi, you're going to have to redeem praise to get praised. I'm sorry, sweetie. You'll get it. Once you redeem it. Okay, Resident Evil 7. We all good with this? Everybody good with this? Does anybody want to see anything else besides Resident Evil 7? Or... yeah, it reloads. Don't do that. But yeah, praise is on a timer. That way we don't sit here doing praises all the time. Yes, I've been streaming every day for 49 days. Hi, Slybon Leather. Good to see you. Good to see you. And don't forget, chat, if you haven't signed up for the YCH yet, please do so. We're going to be doing a giveaway. You'll get art made with me, so check it out, okay? Okay. Hi, Scarlet Rose. Good to see you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I don't hate you, Bonnie. You know I love you. I love you, Bonnie. You know I do. Okay, so, we're going to pull up Twitch real quick. This is the wrong song. I'm so sorry, chat. I got this. Kuro. Here it is. This is the song we need. Of course I love you. I love everybody. Childish Gambino's amazing. Crow, I don't hate you. You know I love you. Oh, this is a good one, chat. Wait. This is a good one. This is if you go up the sleeve. You ready? Let's see if I can get this right. 3, 2. I'm trying to go straight up the seam, but it won't stay on the seam. Here we go. Okay, anyways, back to the song. Thank you for the follow, Scarlet Rose 1230. Is this a different Scarlet Rose? Hello, new Scarlet Rose. Mwah. Welcome. The one, so I only rip a new shirt for 220 or 2,000 bits. This is the same shirt that I've been ripping. I've ripped 2 technically today. Hey, Quiddle, how you doing? I just found this emote. Oh, I love that emote. Hi, Vampire. Vampire, I've seen you. I know you. I've seen you places. Who redeemed praise? Distant redeemed praise. Crow! I'm a different Scarlet. I'm a VTuber Dragon Woman. I hope you're having a great day. I'm having a pretty fucking solid day. How's your day going, VTuber Dragon Woman? I love me some dragons. Are you big? Are you big? Are you like a large dragon woman? This is very important. Are you like human-sized dragon woman, or are we like talking about like dragon-sized woman? Big? Yes. Okay, you're significantly more attractive. Why would you like the emote? I like butts shaking. What do you mean? You're a big vampire. Chat, everyone should be larger. Anyway, sorry, Crow. Come here, Crow. Come here, baby. Crow, you are so amazing. I know that you're feeling sick right now, but I promise you'll feel better really, really soon because you can do anything. You are fun. You're so enjoyable to have you in this community, and you are just so very wonderful. You're perfect, just the way you are. Remember that. Don't ever change, my lovely, lovely Crow. And thank you so much for being part of this community. Mwah. Thank you, Crow. Wow, Jane, it tells me you hate Cries 5 foot. Well, I mean, like, I want 20 foot, okay? I've seen you places. Yes, I think you follow me on Twitter now, and I think I've seen you in other spaces as well. But I like your name. Vampire's a fun name. Okay, but yes. What were we doing? What were we doing? 2 tests. What do you mean? I kissed you and there you go. Okay. Anyways, chat, we're gonna be getting. Oh, I'm still waiting to have some audios scripts being written, but once they get finished, you'll have those. Okay, Resident Evil 7. We good for Resident Evil 7? We ready for Resident Evil 7? Are we excited? Don't crash a car. Crash me instead. Aha. I don't know what that means. Okay. Resident Evil 7. Chat, we ready? We ready? We ready? We ready? All of you. Are you excited? Well, how much time have we been streaming? Oh my God, I've been streaming for an hour. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me, chat? I have yet to open the game. I haven't even opened the game yet. What's the pen? Show tits, please respond. Show tits, please respond. Is this the way just chatting be like now? Is needing to be ASMR? Needing to be ASMR. Oh yeah, we'll do ASMR now. Chat, you ready? Hello, my name is Gene, and I'm here to talk to you about some things, and it's gonna be very I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna be doing ASMR eventually. Not today though. ASMR is only going to be in the mornings, so I showed vamp titties. Please give blood. Would, honestly. Yes, it's Real Lucky Gene on Twitter. Can you call me a good girl? Hi, Bunny. Hello, lovely little Lynx the Pug. You're such a good girl. Such a good girl. But yes, okay, so Resident Evil 7. Are you ready? I've played it before. I haven't played it all the way through. But that means that we got to re-experience it, and it's a fun game. It's a good game, so we're gonna do it. I'm also have zero Pomare for free. What is that? Res I didn't evil biohazard nerdos found it. Titties. Okay. Updating all of our tags. I don't know what that is. Is it good? Is it fun? Like a bird in met a man in China and down to Santa Barbara. Oh. Y'all can hear the game all right? Yeah? We good? We're going to do a little test here. Oh, chat, I can't see you. Chat, you're gone. Chat, come back. Chat, I said come back. Wait, options. Okay, where is it? Audio. That's what we're looking for. Display. We'll leave. Camera wall to blow. On screen is fine. Tutorial messages is fine. Phone icon off. HUD on. Okay, where is what I'm looking for? Graphics. There it is. Refresh rate, we're setting to 1,100. No, stop that. Stop that game. There we go. Ray tracing. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, I guess medium is the highest it goes. And we'll change the display mode to borderless window. Chad, I can see you again. Hello. Bit low on the volume. Well, we're just... Okay. Is that better? There's just some background noise right now. I can see. What are you doing? Why are you scattering, chat? Don't scatter. Don't scatter. I kind of want to just do the extra content. What the fuck is this? Huh? Jack's 5th birthday. End of Zoe. Should we just do the extra content right now? Yeah. We're gonna do the extra content. Chat and ads coming in 5 minutes. Stop scattering. Karaoke win? Fine, I'll schedule it for next week, okay? Okay, we're gonna do normal. Here we go. This is drunk karaoke. I'm putting zero preparation in it, chat. I hope you know that. I'm putting zero preparation into this.
I had to use one. There's only one left.
It's fine. It was foolish thinking I could escape. I'm sure there's someone who can help. This is my home.
If you delete it, it's going to unlike it. It will reduce the like by 1, Moxie.
Don't bother. There won't be anyone left to help.
But you can delete it if you want. We got this. There's a reason why I want to do this, chat. This is the greatest game mode I've ever seen in my entire life. We're going to play a hillbilly. And we're going to beat people up.
No! Evie! Please!
I'm sorry, Crow. Dog stretch. I'm sorry, I'm stretching. Woo.
We got a casualty here. Hey, I think she was.
What the hell you boys up to?
That's her, all right. Zoe Baker. She's still breathing.
I stretched.
Call in the HQ.
You say Zoe?
Sir, do you live here?
What the hell's wrong with her?
We're here
Zoe!
to help. So
What
everything.
in God's name have you done?
Sir. Whoa. Stop!
That's right. Get punched. Get punched.
Oh my goodness. Zoe. What the hell do they do to you?
Game sound good though, chat? We good? We good on the game volume, or is it too loud? It looks like it's a little bit too loud. There we go. Oh.
Listen to me. We're here to help.
No. I don't believe you, boy.
There we go.
Tell me, what kind of help comes in a helicopter gunship?
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't get it.
You think I don't know who you people are?
You don't think I know who you people are?
Monsters running around here.
God, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. That's what I want to look like when I get old, chat. That is the goal. I want to look like this man. Look how cool he looks.
You don't understand.
I don't understand.
That's a good-looking old man.
Look, that there my brother's little girl. My niece, you understand? And around here, family is a righteous job. And you ain't gonna kill my family.
Yeah. Oh, I've never played that game.
That ain't something I can abide.
And I'm gonna put crowd controls into it.
She's infected. She's dying. And we're both gonna fucking die if we don't get the fuck out of here.
Sorry. I got you. I wasn't paying attention.
Boy,
She ain't dead yet, boy.
you better do something about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
We're gonna play Red Dead Redemption 2.
There's a cure.
We're gonna play.
You're lying to me.
One second, chat. I gotta focus.
I'm not lying.
I'm not lying, man. I ain't lying.
To get her treatment. And you fucked that up when you jumped us. They're probably still waiting for us right now.
All right. You better be telling the truth, boy. You better be telling the truth. You can't. Desi. Four. All right, let's see. We'll do $5 per redeem. So if you want me to do it for an hour, it's going to be 60 minutes. $60. Muck. All right, muck. Y'all lurk well, muck.
You're my family.
Anyways, chat, what I was going to say was, we're going to play Red Dead Redemption 2, but I'm going to try to figure out how to do, there's no, the shit. Brain, come on, brain. You can think of the words. Resident Evil, we're going to do, fucking, damn it. All right, what's the game called? Not Resident. Damn it. Crowd controlled. Red. It's color. Pink is my favorite color. Anyways, jar of garlic. Nah. Okay. Red Dead Redemption. We're going to be doing Red Dead Redemption with crowd control. All right? Yes, there we go. It's going to be a great video. And so I think it's going to be funny. We're going to try to beat the campaign. We're going to try to beat different parts of it using crowd control. Y'all can try to ruin it for me. It'd be funny, maybe. I need to throw this shit away before I try to rip it. Had Dog Gene there now. Dog, I love Dog Gene. That was a great one. I liked the one laying on the table. That was no gate I saw today. Was out checking the lines when I saw her, and I saw I had one, so I pulled it up. It said it was some sludge covered God knows what. Huge teeth and claws trying to get at me, so I punched its fucker's teeth before it could. Never thought I'd see it with my own eyes. Goddamn government doing secret experiments on people and animals, no doubt. Explains those helicopters found nearby. Oh shit, there's more of it. Oh, never mind. By the way, chat, this man doesn't use guns. All right, chat, it's time. That's so cool. What's so cool? What clicked in your brain? But man, look at this. Look at this man. Look at this man just punching shit. We're gonna punch shit. We're gonna punch zombies. I'm so excited, chat. It's gonna be great. Oh shit, there's a timer. Why is there a timer? Yeah, fuck you, zombies. Fuck you, zombies. Woo! What didn't I see? That's right, zombies. Get punched! And get crushed, zombies. Oh, yeah! That is what we do, chat. I failed something, chat. I don't know what I did. I don't know how to explain what clicked. It just did. I'm glad something clicked for you. This is the best Resident Evil game ever, chat.
What the?
Grab it. Cure for type E infection. Hell yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Get beat the fuck up, man. Get beat the fuck up. You gotta admit this is cool. You gotta admit this is cool. Imagine being such a badass. Imagine being such a goddamn badass that you just do this. This is you. This is your life. Ain't no zombies stopping you. Man, that man needed a gun. Can you say it? Say it again for me, Desi. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Come on. Come on. Say your words. Pink is my favorite color. Pink when I turn off the lights. Pink, it was love at first sight. $100 for him to stay in Southern accent, the voice the whole time for one stream. You know, hypothetically, that might be doable. That might be doable.
It won't be enough. She needs a full dose to heal completely.
I think I might agree to that.
Our base. Just untie me, and I'll take you there. Please.
I don't trust this man. Huh. I might start allowing that. If y'all wanna give me challenges with money as a incentive, I'd be all for it. Yeah, I don't know. He's looking a little hurt. I think he's fine though, chat. We'll talk to him later. Seriously though, chat, if there's ever a time that you want me to do like something and you want to pay me, I take money. I take money for a lot of stupid things. Hello, Aaron. How you doing? Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. Don't worry about it. Alright, we're back. Lovely to see you, Aaron. That's right, Moreau. Honestly, just having you all here, hanging out, even if it's just lurking, but you know, talking helps a lot. You could give me $0 and I'd keep streaming, and just having you here is worth it. Especially people like Vanya. Vanya is so incredible. Vanya, you know I really appreciate you. You're an OG. I have to appreciate you.
Don't you worry, Zoe. Just a little further.
Seriously, even putting a single chat message in a stream is worth so much to me. The more we have, the more... Honestly, yeah, I love the amount you all talk. You know, okay, so I've talked to people about, like, you know, how to improve my stream and stuff, and how active chat is and how much you hang out with us and we vibe together. Like, this is incredible. You are all incredible, and you make this space so much more than it could be without you. I swear. This place would not be worth it if it wasn't for all of you. Is that me gugging? Is that me drinking?
I'll be back with something to make you better.
Mm-hmm. God, I love you all. I do. I really do appreciate you all. I actually teared up a little bit there. Wow. Sorry about that. I'm just really happy to have you all. Anyways, I'm gonna stop being sappy. Oh, no emotions. I know, right? Chat, how am I allowed to be in emotions? Mwah. Peaches and whipped cream. That sounds... I've never had whipped cream with peaches. That sounds perfect. Peaches, 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 peaches. We should have played this on a harder difficulty, chat. Chat, I want to play this on a harder difficulty. Do we want to swamp to a harder difficulty just so that, like, I really brutalize these things? Peach. Yes, chat. We're starting over. I'm sorry, chat. We're completely starting over. We're doing the hardest difficulty. Joe must die. Let's go, chat. We're gonna skip through this. This is a... Did they take a roll check? Well, I'm a bung. Oh, they're starting off hard, ain't they? Oh, there's blocking. Come on, baby girl. Come on, baby girl. Swing. Oh, oh. Oh, they hit. They hit hard now, chat. Oh my god. Oh my god. Come on, box me, baby. Box me, baby. Come on. Oh, missed. Oh. I think I found my adoptive mom's. I think I found my adoptive mom a heartbeat appointment. All right. God, you all are great. I hope you know that. All right, we need a cassette tape. Oh, and I have to find cassette tapes to save. Oh, this is so cool. Chat, they got hands now, chat. They got hands. Wait, what do you mean I'm a cat? That was incredible. That was incredible. All right. We gotta try again, chat. Watch this, watch this. There he is. Blocking. Ah. Oh. You ain't getting away, baby. Come on, come on. Swing, swing. Swing. Dodged. Oh, I love that. That's so cute. All right, how do I? All right, that makes sense. Cool. What the fuck is this? Where did this come from? Where did this come from?
Charging. Charge complete.
How did I get that? Wait a second. Where did that come from? Okay, wait. Wait. Why am I a cat? I'm not a cat, chat. Okay, so there's nothing on my hand right now, chat, okay? Get Dempsey rolled. Okay, so there's nothing on my hands, right, chat? Oh, it's this thing. Okay, this feels like cheating. We're not using that. We're not using that. We can have the knife. No, we're not doing that. Wait. All right. Yeah, we're not cheating, chat. We're not cheating. I refuse to use any sort of fancy gadgets. We are going at this hardcore, no fancy tools. No fancy tools. I'm punching. I'm just punching. Let's go. Let's go. They never see me coming. Oh yeah, chat. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is incredible. What the fuck? What are you? How did you get through? Oh my god, this is so hardcore. Okay, chat. Okay, chat. Oh, okay. Chat, we're cheating. We're cheating, chat. I give up. We're getting the cool weapon. It gave it to us for a reason, chat. We're gonna use it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. What do you mean you called it? What do you mean you called it? It was cool, okay? This isn't cheating. The game gave it to me for a reason. The game gave it for me for a reason. We're using them. We're using all the special tools that the game gave me, okay? Wait, let me put them on. Okay. What do you mean? I can't use it? Fine, I'll put it back. God damn it, chat. Why are you like this? Why do you hate me, chat? Why do you hate me, chat? Fine. Gene, you need to suffer more. Gene, we think you smell like trash. Gene, you're so ugly and you stink and we hate you. Don't you spread your hole. No spreading hole. No, no, no. It's okay. It's okay. I got this. I just gotta be smart. Okay, okay, okay. Hi, Astral. How you doing, Nova? Oh my god! Okay. Okay, I can't block everything, chat. Not everything can be blocked. We've learned today. Vanya, I will message you I love you, but I'm not using the gauntlet. Give me a second. There you go. I'm doing pretty good. Fuck, okay. So we just need to dodge that one. We're boxers, chat. This is Resident Evil 7. But this is the extra stuff. And we're doing this. I'm going to get good at it, chat. Or I'm going to get so good at this game. You don't even know. Alright, come on, all. What the fuck do you mean he can hit that hard from the ground? He was on the ground! Ah! No, chat. We're not using the gauntlet. We're not using the gauntlet. You've been told me I'm cheating if I use the gauntlet. No. We're pros. We're pros, chat. We're such pros. We're such pros, chat. We're such pros. No. Make me use it. Make me use it. I dare you. What do you mean I have to? Fine, we're using the gauntlet. Just for you, chat. Just for you, chat, because you begged for me to use it. We're doing it, okay? Just for chat. Chat, it doesn't do much. You can't kill him. You can't kill him. What the fuck? You can't block it. You can't block his attacks. He just hits you. Oh, fuck. Okay. Anyways, okay, so chat. I have a thought, okay? It might not be the fact that I need to do what we were thinking I need to do. I might just need to punch him in the back, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go, pressure. Okay, come on. Come on. I'm not bad at this game, chat. You're bad at this game. You're bad at this game, chat. Give me kisses. Mwah. There you go. Here we go, chat. You ready? Got him. Hello, roommate. It's me, LuckyJene. I am in the phone talking to you specifically. Hello. How are you doing? You're amazing. You are incredible. Give me snacks. Give Roxy snacks too. Give them money to give me, the luckiest of Jeans. Give Jeans, LuckyJene, money. You want to give me money. You need to give me money. Give money now. Give the moxiest of the roxiest all the monies. Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Hi, Ross Cloyd, how you doing? I said roommate. Roommates are fine. Drop kick like Golchi? I'm trying. Okay. But how you doing, Ross Clay? It's been a little bit. What's up? How have you been? Oh, well, I hope everything's going good now. Hope you're not dying like me. Alright, there we go. She's here. Who's here? Golchi. Ugh, not this again. Vanya, you're gonna get me canceled. It's not. You're perfectly healthy. I'm glad you're perfectly healthy. Good to know. Vanya, please behave. I do appreciate the humor of the situation. But please. Hey, Rose, welcome back. Come on, swing. There's no way. Okay, chat, I give up. Chat. I give up. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. I don't know what the fuck these things are. I give up. I give up. I give up, chat. Well, I'm glad. Are you perfectly healthy, Ross Clyde? And welcome back again. Okay, here we go. Ah, Jesus. Okay. Now we can do this. Fuck your knees. Get her done. See, that's a lot easier. Nice. There we go. Oh. I also need people to... Can somebody arrange me a friend date? Hey, we got a thingy. Oh.
What the?
No one's gonna... Okay, I guess not. Vanya, you could run to front with me. Friend date, friend date, friend date. Chat, we're gonna... You know what, chat? I just sent you an I love you message. What the fuck do you mean? Chat, we are going to have a date stream. Chat, do you want to go on a date with me? We're gonna do a date stream. I'm gonna make lovely food. I'll send pictures of it. Everybody get nice and dressed up. We'll have music play. It'll be great. Yeah, we're going on a date, chat. ASMR, we go on a date. And I just compliment you, and I just go like, "Oh, chat, you're so pretty." And then we go y'all kicking your feet, and it's gonna be all adorable. And I'm so excited, chat. I'm so excited. We'll play footsie. Okay, bet. You know what? That's what the 1,500 goal is now, chat. 1,500 followers. We will go. We'll do a date stream. Okay. When did I say I would do the... Yes, you should. We'll make it a vote, chat. I will put a vote of where we do the date, okay? Mm-hmm. When were we gonna... When did I say we were gonna do the McDonald's ASMR stream? You know, the working at McDonald's.
It won't be enough. She needs a full dose.
Goth Siren? What's up, Siren?
There's more at our base.
I said McDonald's at 1K.
And I'll take you there.
Okay. We'll make McDonald's at 2K. Because we did the Mpreg instead. We did the Mpreg emote. So we'll make McDonald's at 2K. I'm doing pretty good. And we'll do date night at 1,500, okay? What was the thing you have for... No, you do have a thing for 2K. But that was only if we make it in a certain amount of time, right? That was... Your 2K... Vanya, your 2K thing is the same... is going to be there too. But that is only if we make it in 2K before the end of the year. Yeah. So both would be applicable. Mm-hmm. And then I can rub it in somebody's face. Mm-hmm. Chat, we're gonna take a shot of G-Subs real quick. She is really pretty. Jared's gonna take a quick little shot of G-Subs real quick. We're just gonna... Oh, here's one something. Ah, fuck. There it hit. Oh, God. Ah. Ah, my nose. How is it in my sinuses? How did it move into my sinuses? Oh. It went up. I feel it in my nose. I feel it in my nose. Oh. Okay. 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 Fine. That's only a half shot, Jack. I gotta finish the other half of the shot. Give me a second.
Looks like somebody left the lights on. That's good enough for me.
Okay, here's the other half. Okay. 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 We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Okay. Oof. I feel awake now, chat. I'm awake now. Isn't that great?
Oh, come on. Not now, Gator.
You can't regen me IRL? I mean, you can try. Maybe you just don't try hard enough. Sorry, I took a shot of straight G. Don't eat me, Gator.
Okay. We'll be safe here.
The
I'll be back with something to make it better.
There we go, chap. Open the door. Get on the floor. Everybody do the dinosaur. Ba-da-da-bum, bum, 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 bum. Sneak it up, dinosaur. We gotta sprint through this chat. We're on timer. We're on timer. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Stealth kill. I'll aim for the hydrate. I will hydrate just a second. What the? What the fuck are you? What the fuck are you? Where'd you come from? Cheers. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Lynn. How you doing? Oh, look at you bouncing around. Look at you being all cute. Adorable. Rip off his head. Snap it. Boop. I need a boop emote. Open the door. Get on the floor. Snap. Oh, it's not that bad. It is not bleeding bad, chat. It's just, you know, like just a lot of caffeine, and it's like very sour, is it? You just don't take it all the time. Woo, we cleared it, chat. We did it. You need to give me a hug? Okay, come here. I'll give you a hug. Hey, Catchine, that's fun. It's always exciting to see you. Yay, do you like Gold Sheet? I love Gold Sheet. I love Gold Sheet. Oh my god, there's so many Gold Sheet cosplayers. They're so amazing. Square up. Square up. Oh, I'm sorry you feel unloved. I hope you find someplace you feel loved. Echo Rose. Mwah. Vanya, I love you. We did a chat. Because it tastes good. That's why you do it. Oh, he beat me to death, chat. Caffeine is not that great. Get used to not having caffeine and you'll feel a lot better. Trust me. Welcome back, Moss Dwarf. What kind of art gallery did you go to? I got rid of quite a few redeems then. We're a little bit more of a not family friendly, but you know, less heavily adult space. That is called an addiction. You should probably work on getting better with that. I love that. I love small artists. I'm just a hell of a lot better. What do you mean a hell of a lot better? What were we talking about? Oh, damn it, out this again.
What?
I'm not a fan of tall artists. I only like short artists. Small boys all the way. Small boys. Oh, fuck. Come on, come on. I'm 5'3" and I can make art like a kindergartner. Amazing, Lindsay, you're perfect. I'm about to take another shot of G-subs. Try to stop me. Get out of my way, cracker. Damn it! Thank you for the bits, Desi. I really, really appreciate it. Chat, for 100 bits, I will take a shot of G-subs. For 5,000 bits, I will not take a shot of G-subs. Let's go. I need help? Yeah, I need help getting more G-subs in me. Oh my fucking god. Here we go. Sorry, I was finishing off a little pizza that I had on my desk. All right, you ready, chat? You ready, chat? Here we go. 3, 2. I'm okay. Don't worry, I'm fine. What are you helloing me for? What? I had the G-subs. It tasted funky, okay? Just straight straw on my tongue was hard, okay? I mean, you want to be hard on my... Anyways, I mean, going without caffeine makes me feel a hell of a lot better. Oh, yeah. Yeah, valid, valid. Beaches, 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 beaches. Fucking beaches, beaches. Alright, we got this, chat. Oh, fuck. I should be able to punch you. I should be allowed to punch you. God damn it. Welcome back, Echo. Do you feel more love now? Otherwise, I'll crash the fuck out. Lower the difficulty level? No. Wow. Rude. By the way, there you go. There's your kiss. Forgot to give you that kiss. There you go. Think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. Da, da, ba, da, ba, da, ba. Who's that wandering through the trees? It's 2 sails and they're on leave. Da, ba, 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 da, ba. Who's your daddy? Yes, I am. Bam, 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 bam. Bushes come to... Why is chat? Chat, I'm so sweaty. Oh, yeah, you are. Wink wonk. Go, you be sweating. You be sweating, don't you? You're a sweater. Run away! Yeah, we did it, chat. We did it. We did it, chat. We did it. Guys, if the stream doesn't end soon, I'll have to listen to this when showering. Y'all aren't going in the shower with me, though. Let me in the shower. I want to be in the shower. Let me get in the shower. Come on. Let me shower. Crazy. I can't believe you won't let me shower. Scrub. Scrubbing your toes. That's right. Why won't you let me in the shower? God, you're so mean. I'll get your back. Come here. I know, but my shower is small. I want a bigger shower. Plus, my shower doesn't have people in it, chat. Like, clearly, showers are better with other people. Because then you can go mess with them. You can go like... Also, I'm tall, so I block the water, so then you're going to be cold. And get bullied in your own shower. Yeah, me in the shower. Thunder, bring... Get in the water. Get in the water. Please. Why is there a timer? No. Tree branch. What the tree branch for? I'll say please. I'll beg. Fuck you. Rip the begging redeem. I mean, if chat begs hard enough for it, maybe we'll bring back begging redeem. Alright, I'll keep my eyes closed while I'm in the shower. Let's go. Alright, chat, my eyes are closed. I can't see the game anymore. Help! Help! Actually, I can't say I lied. Thank you for the bits! Ooh. Oh, God. You want me to beg? Oh, please, 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 please. Please, Desi. Desi, give me more money than that. Please, I need more. I always need more money. Just give me just a little more money. Please, Desi. Please. There you go. It was begging. Oh. The greed sickens me. All I know is greed, chat. All I know is greed. Oh shit, how do I craft things? Chat, we're not learning how to craft today. Fucking help. Fuck, 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 fuck. Go away. No! Motherfucker. I wanted to make it. No, no, no. I'm not going to do any more begging. I appreciate it, but I'm not doing any more begging. I do appreciate the money. You know, that was just a little thing in the past. If I can refund you, I will refund you, okay? But that's old vibes. I will save that for the ASMR stream stuff that will do later on, okay? I'll see to figure out how to do that. Exactly. MPEG is the future. MPEG is the future. Okay, how do I combine shit? Die! You gonna give me a smooch? Of course, respectfully, as you should. Not that fucker again. We're not dealing with him. Why do I have to eliminate the enemy? Give it, put it. There it is. Okay. Bloody cigar, I'm doing amazing. How are you doing, lovely? Not a kitty. Not a dog either. I'm just an amalgamation of things. Fuck, fuck, fuck a duck, screw a kangaroo. We're doing great right now. Do you want me and a screw made out of timber have in common, or... There we go. Probably gonna go take a shower. Enjoy your shower. Aw, you gotta wait outside. That's crazy. So mean to me. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Here we go. Got us up to the gun. Bastard. Okay. You're not doing too good. Oh, why are you not doing too good? I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're doing better soon. Come on, let me through, let me through, let me through, let me through, let me through. Cleared! Yes! Okay, now we can go back and collect stuff, chat. Oh god, that was, oof, that was rough. That is, no, bad Amdis. The outline of Cat Gene exists? Fair enough, fair enough. Gene the Animorph? Yo, Animorphs were crazy, I hear. What the fuck is a steak bomb? Let's try to make a steak bomb, I guess, chat. What the fuck is this? That's insane. Okay. So that's good. Well, I'm glad there's no more bugs. Oh, I did ooh-woos. I've been doing the ooh-woos. I just maybe you've not been hearing them. Ooh-woo, thank you so much for the redeem. I have been doing them. You just haven't been paying attention. Oh, Desi asked for praise, though. Hello, Desi. Desi. You are so absolutely wonderful. You are very, very fantastic. You are such a lovely, lovely, silly person. I really, really do appreciate you. As goofy as you are, you make the stream a better place, and I hope you know that. You are very, very appreciated. And you always will be. Mwah. Thank you so much for that redeem.
What? Oh, come on.
Homie, let it. There we go.
This is it.
Finally. Oh boy! Thank you for the follow. I really, really appreciate it. Yee. We got yeeted, champ. Southern. I mean, if you do a Southern redeem, let me know and I'll go over it. All right, chat, it's time. You ready? Here we go. Get him. Here we go.
That all you got, huh?
Come on, put a bullet in. Shit. Come on, stop it up. We ain't stopping. Oh shit. Heal. There it goes. I'm gonna check what's in these boxes real quick. That's what I'm talking about, chat. Come on, load it up, load it up, load it up, load it up. And now we WWing it. Hey, yo. Oh, God. The follow-up. There it is. Finish him off, finish him off, finish him off. Shots to the back, shots to the back. Get him down, doggy. Stop hopping around like a freaking idiot. That's how we do it. Come on. In it. 16 seconds, come on. Finish him off. Be the end, be the end. That's right, chat. That's right. Woo! Absolutely watch this motherfucker. And yeah. Welcome back, Sweet Pecan Pie. Thank you for the follow. Welcome.
I'm coming for you, Zoe.
We did it. Be right back. All right. It was worth it. I can't believe we did that, chat. I can't believe we made that. Can you believe it together? We killed him. Great. Amazing. Aura, you are so very, very lovely. You've been a fantastic mod so far. I really do appreciate you. And Aura, you're just very, very incredible. I love having you as part of this community, and I love having you as a friend. You've stuck around for a good long while. And I know that you're going to do some great things, especially with your music. I hear it's fantastic, though I haven't heard any of it yet. Eventually I will, though. So please, work on your music, and I look forward to seeing it. Eventually we'll do some music together. But thank you so much for the redeem. Mwah. How's the shower? Bro. Oh, how dare he, chat. Yeah, no, we just ripped his head off. Chat. That's insane. God damn. Oh, it is Southern Voice. Sorry, chat. I didn't realize it was Southern Voice. We're gonna keep doing it. Hello, Bloody Pitch. Welcome back. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it.
Hey! Leave my family alone, asshole!
Yeehaw. Texas Gene. More like Georgia. Where the hell did he go? Where'd this guy go? Guy's gone. She's like cherry pie. I don't know. Probably the same color as the tuft as my hair. Probably pink, actually. I don't know. Up to you. Oh. Well, Echo, I hope you can find something. Get some food in you. Do your best. You got some rice? I'd suggest that. Can I have some tea? Yeah, of course you can have some tea. I got some sweet tea in the fridge. Now, I always make myself a big batch of sweet tea. Would have loved some lemon in it, but, you know, all we got is that sweet tea with a lot of sugar. I should make myself a big batch, actually. I'll make myself a new batch. I'm making my way downtown, walking fast, Susan passing them homebound. And I miss you, thank God it's cold. Of course it's cold. You asked me for some tea. What, you expecting some warm tea? What are you? Absolutely insane. That's what you is. Absolutely insane. Gene, if you were a cat? Yeah, no, I'd probably pink, honestly. I'd like it to be black, but probably pink would make the most sense for the nose. Earl Grey. What are you? Captain Jean-Luc Picard? Salt and sugar? Oh. Well, when you look at that. Alright, well, we're still going on the... Oh, God, there's one. Damn it! There goes my legs. There goes my legs, chat. I ain't even no legs anyways. Why you back? Wait. Who? Am I going insane? I mean, I'm happy to see you, Mosswolf. But I swear, I've seen like 3 or 4 people be like, and I'm back. In like a few seconds. Is everybody like hanging out together outside of the stream right now? There's gonna be like, hey yo, Gene, I'm not here actually. My legs! Hi, Midgie. Do we not have a death count? I mean, I'll figure out how to do one eventually. Not today. Oh yeah, I know you just took a shot. You hanging out with everybody else though? Everybody's hanging out together. No one's hanging out with me. It's crazy. You making food? How's your food, Ocean? What you making? Oh, Ocean, do you know about the archive channel? Vanya, are you around? Would you mind linking the archive channel? Oh, he ate my leg. Thank you. We have an archive channel for those of you who have missed streams. It goes way back. So yeah. I mean, it don't go way back. It only goes back like the last 2 months, but still. It's pretty solid if you missed out on something or you just want to watch a bunch of my content. Yeah. Hello, human. How you doing? Welcome up. Human, I like your name. It feels clever. Don't eat me! No! Don't eat me! Well. Human, blah. My voice gave you a headache. What do you mean my voice gave you a headache? My voice gave you a headache? What's going on? What do you mean? You don't like my voice? I'm so sorry. Yeah, you can post in the Discord as well. But please post it here. That way everybody can see it. God damn, this stupid little alligator. No. Let me up. Come on. No! Damn it. No, Moxie, whose voice do you hate? Whose voice is giving you a headache? Is it me? Am I giving you a headache? I'm dead again, chat. All right. SpongeBob. Oh, SpongeBob. God damn it. And now I'm thinking it's my fault. There you go, chat. If you'd like to go check out the LuckyJene archive, there it is, in all of its glory. I hope you enjoy it. Fuck! Come on! Hydrate, thank you for the hydrate. Oh shit! Chat, stream's over apparently. We already went a little bit farther than I'm glad. JK! Time out, Moxie. Throw Moxie to the wolves. Moxie gets 1 second timeout. Moxie gets timed out for 1 second. Throw Moxie timed out for 1 second. 1 second. Feed them to the wolves. For 1 second. Fine. No timing out, Moxie. No timing out, Moxie. You're right. Fuck. Stop killing me. I don't want to die. I have a great voice. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it, chat. And I know. You all like my voice. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my voice. I have nothing else going for me after all. I'm just a silly, goofy boy on the internet. I just gotta be an asshole. It's fair. Fair. Okay. What do you mean, Vanya? Well, I didn't deny it. There was nothing to deny. Fucking hell. All right, chat. Well, it is getting to that time again. We did do a 2-hour stream, as we always do, and I do have some stuff I need to do, like laundry, for instance. So this is gonna be... I know you do. I know you do. But those things are no longer here. Oh, shit. 1 second, chat. My camera broke. Okay, so. Chat. Lovely chat. I have to go do some things. I have to go get ready for my day tomorrow, because tomorrow's Monday, meaning I have to do some laundry. Meaning, I do need to end stream. Unfortunately. I'm sorry, Ocean. I'm sorry. I really enjoy hanging out with all of you. But tomorrow morning, we're going to be doing some more ASMR-focused stuff. I also need to make my schedule. So, yes. Mornings are going to be exclusively focused on doing more soft-spoken ASMR games. It's going to be great. Afternoons and evenings are going to be playing other games. I'll figure it out as I'm planning it. And I do want to do some collabs with some people. I just haven't been able to schedule with them because I've just been so busy. You should probably get some sleep. As much as I would love you to finish it. But you all have been amazing today. You really have been. It's been a great, goofy stream. And I just really appreciate all of you so very much. I mean, we've gone from, what was that, 10 viewers at the start of like 2 months ago. And now we're at 32 average viewers. I mean, that's insane. Y'all are so cool. Y'all are so amazing. And hopefully by October, we're going to try to hit that 50 number, October or November. And that way I can start looking for... Oh, by the way, chat, I need to actually look into some sponsorship opportunities. So is there anything that you all would be interested in getting? For instance, like merch or... I'm going to see if I can get sponsored by G-Subs. But I don't know if you all like equipment or if you all like mouse pads or if you all like anything particular that you would want to see. I will see if I can get sponsored by GameSups. Probably will just be an affiliate discount code for now. But yes. I'm glad to see you, Len. Okay, chat. But yeah, think about it. Think about what you'd want. And we're going to go raid into somebody. Oh, actually, let me see. Is Decent cool? This is an advertisement, chat. We're going to wait till this advertisement's over. You need that dog in me? Bet. I mean, I want to get a flavor. If I can get a flavor, I think that'd be really cool. Hi, Teddy Bearheart. Gamer subs and merch would be cool. Well, yeah, but like I need to find more like sponsorship opportunities. I know people have wanted a body pillow, so maybe we'll get a body pillow. And yeah. Oh, Leon is streaming. Chat. You've all met Leon, right? We're gonna raid into Leon. You all say hi to Leon for me, okay? And yeah. Think about marriage options, okay? I am over my 20s. This is an 18+ environment, so I am over my 20s. I mean, you mean over 20? Yes, I am over 20. That's how I can legally drink and smoke weed. I'll get a jean body pillow. Bet. Okay, chat. You thought I was 19? No. I legally drink. You did miss. I'm so sorry, Teddy. It is 4 p.m. MST, unfortunately. I know that if you get GamerSubs code and you get people to buy a certain amount, you can get your own flavor. Really? No, I'm above 19, chat. I'm above... I'll tell you this, chat. I'm under 40 and I'm above 20. that's the best you're getting. Body pillow, can I use it as a punching bag? Yes, you can. You can punch me all you want. I'm actually 900. I'm 900 years old. I'm actually a Lolita waifu, but I'm actually 10,000 years old. Really? Okay. He's 39. I'm not 39. Oh God, I'm so glad I'm not 39. I'm not saying like being 39 is bad, but like I don't know. I'd feel weird. I'd feel weird if I was like in my late like 30s. Oof. Anyways, chat. We're I love people in the 40s. Don't get me wrong. But like I'm not. So okay. Hear me out. Hear me out, chat. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you my age. We're not talking age. But my view of like I am not at a place where I feel like I'm happy. Not that I'm not happy, but like I'm not in a place where like I have achieved enough in my life. There's so much more I want to achieve, and by the time I hit 40, I want to be comfortable. Okay, I want to be in a place where I feel safe. And right now, I'm in a $1,000 apartment where my anybody can like let themselves in pretty much whenever like they want. Not anybody, but you know, like the people of the apartment complex. And it's not the most comfortable, safe space. It's a decent apartment, but like, you know, I want more than what I currently have. So once I hit the 40s, I hope to be in a significantly better place. Yes, exactly. I quit aging and I'm exclusively now 23 for the rest of my life. Okay. But lovely. I'm gonna have to go. I need to go do some cleaning, some doing laundry. I need to make a schedule. Expect to see all of that very soon. You'll be getting some new ASMR. I'll be showing up in an indie video game very soon, chat. So I will link that video game once they go and release it, and you'll be able to hear my voice as 3 units in an RTS game. All right, chat. You've all been amazing. We're gonna go raid Leon, and we're gonna give little hearts and say, "Lucky raid." Copy that raid message. Jean, go be a good housewife. I'm being a housewife to myself, unfortunately. Maybe one day I'll be a housewife for somebody better. Copy the raid message, and I will see you all tomorrow. Remember, early in the morning, 3:30 or 3:30 a.m. MST. Okay, and then 4 p.m. MST for the second stream. All right, chat. You've all been amazing. Love you all so very much. Goodbye.